What up, YouTube? Sanantoniocorkys here with part two of my Alaskan pipeline to San Antonio and Annihilation. I gave you part one where you saw I acquired the Anchorage Fish from this guy named Potion Poshevic. Uh, so what happened was Potion, just as a recap, Potion Poshevic was laundering money for the Alaskan Mafia. They caught him with his hand in the cookie jar, and they were going to make things not so pleasant for him. Anyway, I called in some old favors, made it possible for the Alaskan Mafia to operate kind of anonymously, and in return, they would let Potion live. Well, Potion was grateful to me, and he gave me this football team, the Anchorage Fish, which I now own, and I intended on moving them to San Antonio, changing the name to the San Antonio Annihilation, and just rebuilding the team from scratch because the Anchorage Fish, for lack of a better term, they sucked as a team. So I cut all the players with the exception of the quarterback, and that was McGee. But first, before I go any further in the story, let me give you some background on the Alaskan Mafia because I'm just like, it's Alaska. What in the hell could the Mafia be doing in Alaska? Anyway, what I find out is that they had cornered the market, the black market, in caviar. And I'm like, seriously, fish eggs? And yes, seriously, fish eggs. The market they cornered was the off market and out of season market for beluga caviar, some of the most expensive caviar in the world. Now, this ordinarily sells for anywhere from $2,500 to $33,000 a pound. Well, they were, like I said, they're selling it and getting it off market and out of season by way of Iran from the Caspian Sea. They're working with the criminal factions out of Iran whose only jihad is the almighty dollar and telling the Ayatollah to fuck himself. So they're getting their beluga from them and they're selling it anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a pound. Think about that. 100, calculate that. 100 pounds of beluga caviar is like what, 3 million bucks or whatever. And they're doing tons of this shit every freaking year. So they're rolling in dough. Anyway, to catch up on what happened after that, I sent my movers to pick up the equipment. And the Alaskan Mafia tells me, or tells my movers rather, because it's locked tight, that we're not getting any equipment and that the team is not mine. I don't own the team. They own the team. And I'm like, no, they can't own the team. I own the team. I have the paperwork. Everything is legal that I bought from Potion. Well, it looks like Potion crawfish the Alaskan Mafia, and in turn kind of got me too. What Potion turned around and did was the Alaskan Mafia had no idea the deal he made with me. All they know is they were happy with what I could do for them. Well, Potion turns around, goes goes to them and sells them the Anchorage Fish out from under me. He sells it for $2 million cash. And once he gets the money, he apparently turned himself in to the Alaskan FBI to be a part of their witness protection program. So, not only did he get away from the Alaskan Mafia without getting killed, he snookers them for an additional $2 million, and he's in Alaska. Now, think about this. Alaska is the hugest place in the world to hide because it's like 663,000 square miles of nothing but land. And it's only got 721,000 people living in it. So do you think they're going to find Potion, especially with the help of the FBI? So I've got to negotiate with the mob insofar as how to get this team. So we cut a deal, and the deal was that I would, because I have maybe one or two sources they could use to track Potion down, and that's all they want. The money that they gave Potion for the team, that's chump change to them. It's the principle of the thing is what the guy told me. As a matter of fact, he said it's about principalities. And I'm just like, dang, this guy must have been watching Fridays. Anyway, I gave them that, and they said, okay, they let me have the team now. And even more than that, they were so appreciative. They gave me an additional lump sum of money to invest into the team that I could use insofar as salaries and player development was concerned. And I'm like, wow, this is great. So now I did get the equipment and I got the team, and so now we're heading back to San Antonio with the equipment, and now it's time to start building the San Antonio Annihilation. This is an FBI surveillance video of Potion Bolshevik that the Alaskan Mafia got their hands on, and this is what it looks like. It'll look a lot different if they get him. This is the new home of the San Antonio Annihilators, San Antonio Metro Stadium, and I'm going to show you the second thing I did with the team once we got to San Antonio, and that was to commission the uniform design, and I had that done by JG Israel. And as you can see, I just like the way he designs uniforms. It was what I was looking for, and the way he matches colors, his scheme. Less is more is what I was looking for, and JG Israel touched on that for me. Now there are other guys that design uniforms as well. There's Showtime, Nails, and Dr. Sim. They are just as good, but for what I was looking for, JG Israel is what I needed. Also, the logo on the side of the helmet, that wasn't his idea, that was mine. Uh, it may or may not stay. I'm not sure yet. But the first thing I did was we had tryouts, and guys came in and tried out for the team. And I also had hired a consulting firm to find players off the beaten path, athletes rather. I didn't care whether they knew how to play football or not. I just needed athletes, a core group of good athletes, and that's what they did. And so once we got all those guys together, we ran them through like a 2 to 3 week, actually it was a 3 week Marine boot camp. We had them sleeping outside, sleeping on the stars. Never touched a football, didn't even talk football. We just had them conditioning and discipline. And then once all that was done, I then called in old retired coaches, consultants, so forth and so on to come in and teach these guys how to play football the right way, the disciplined way. And so that's what they did. And so we've laid down a core foundation for what the San Antonio Annihilators will and should be. I also called in John Green out of retirement. He is the old offensive coordinator for the Texas, or was the old offensive coordinator for the Texas Thunderbirds. I got him to come out of retirement and employ not the same, but a similar offense that is ran by the Texas Thunderbirds. And for now, he's doing that. I'm running the defense until I can find a defensive coordinator. And so we'll be on the lookout for that here in the near future. And what I'm going to do now is introduce you those core players. That's John Green there, by the way. I'm going to introduce the core players that the consulting firm found for us. They are a diverse group, and none of them knew how to play football when we finally got them. So here you go.
Wide receivers number 88 and number 6, Rahib and Jameer Fatefehi out of Ethiopia. They are the first Ethiopian sprinters to ever come out of that country and be world class. Wide receiver Salim Jackson from Greenland can cross his eyes in the opposite direction, and I have yet to see him in practice miss or drop a pass. Has the most phenomenal hands I've ever seen. Diamond in the rough halfback Ahmad Abdullah was a soccer player for the German national team. I mean, we were fortunate to find him considering he was a goaltender. Cornerback Kawika Rashid is a three-time world champion escape artist from Honduras. Not sure how that translates, but he is probably one of the best covers we have on the team. Cornerback Duran Elisara from Cuba. We Actually, we've done a background check on this guy, and he doesn't really even talk much, so we have no idea what he actually does or what his skill set is, but he's a great corner. This is our beast of an inside linebacker, Kareem Vasquez out of Chile. And he is a three, I think, maybe four-time world equestrian champion. And when I say this with all due respect, but look at his weight. Defensive end Baruti Quachia out of Italy. And I will, as I quote him to describing his occupation, it goes something like this: I pick things up, I put things down. And last but definitely not least, Gennaro Quachia, Baruti's brother, who is a florist by trade, and he's also from Italy, and he runs a 4.540. Need I even say more? So that is my 2013 San Antonio Annihilators. This is a game. This is our inaugural game against JG Israel's Tallahassee Trojans. It was a very good game. As a matter of fact, I streamed the game on my channel, twitchtv.com San Antonio /San Antonio Corky. If any of you would like to go and check it out, because the game is recorded, and you can also watch it there. It was a game that went in overtime, and I think you will really enjoy it. But anyway, moving forward, this is my San Antonio Annihilators. Looking forward to playing you guys on